All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. And hey, salute, man. Much love to you, sincere brothers who push this truth week in and week out, man. Keep y'all heads up, man. We almost home. And had a quick response to this video, this little clip with Tariq Nasheed talking about the Christian rapper Lecrae had an interview with an Edomite pastor, an Edomite Christian pastor or whatever. And the Edomite Christian pastor was basically saying like slavery was a curse and that white people, instead of saying white privilege, say white blessings because white people obtain the blessings of the curse of black people's slavery. That's basically what he was saying. I'm going to play it, but he's really right. The so-called white Christian pastor is really right about that, man. But it's no such thing as a white person. They're Edomites, you know? So, of course, they're going to throw some bullshit in there. But for the most part, he's right about what he said, man. And they got a lot of the black conscious community all up in arms, man. You know? They ever learning but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And, because this guy, Tariq Nasheed, he did a video on it. And, what's this other guy? And Willie D did a video on it. And I think some other people did it. A lot of people did a video on that, man. A lot of people had something to say about that. But I'm just going to, Lord willing, drop some edification on this topic real quick. And let's go.
Did y'all see this one white preacher? He was talking about what we shouldn't say the term white privilege. They should say white blessings. I want y'all to see what this guy was talking about. Hold on one second. Let me show y'all this. 1 second. Let me get all these screens down. Okay, you got to peep this out. And look how slick they are. Look how slick they try to be with the words here. Watch this. Hold on.
It's interesting because I feel like on the inside of the church, we're fighting this historical context you talk about. In other words, we love the blessing of the cross, but we don't love to sit in it and realize this is what God's asking me to do, to die to myself and to live for Him, whatever context that's going to look like for me. But I want to flip that upside down because I think the other side of it is true with our nation's history. We understand the curse that was slavery. White people.
Well, okay. Now watch the words. Now this is Pastor Louie Giglio. The curse that is slavery. But watch the word. Now slavery wasn't a curse. It was just white supremacy dominating and mistreating black people. That wasn't really a curse. That was just...
You hear this nigga? He said white supremacy. It basically it wasn't a curse. It was white supremacy dominating black people. Basically calling white people supreme, which once again they're not white. They're the Edomites. They're a red race of people, different shades of red. And that's no excuse, man. That's not the reason. That's wrong. And he said slavery ain't a curse. And what the hell is it? If the Most High God if He's all powerful and in control of everything, then how the hell did that slavery happen? How the hell did 400 plus years of slavery, hardcore slavery, happen then? Most of you so-called Negroes believe in God, right? And He's all powerful and He's in control of everything. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. So how did slavery happen then? If He controls everything, how did that happen? Quick scripture. This is Deuteronomy 30. This shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy power, and shall obey His voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. And then when you read Salaki, when you read Deuteronomy 28, man, it'll give you the rundown of the curses. It tell you we were going to serve our enemies and all these other nations, and one man in particular, man, the new Egyptian, the so-called white man, the new slave master, the king of Babylon, a.k.a. Esau, Edom, and the king of confusion. It tell you that. And it tell you we was going to be sold to our enemies for buying man and buying woman. And no man shall redeem us. And we was going to go into slavery on slave ships. Go read Deuteronomy 28 chapter. The whole chapter. That's the so-called Negro and Latino in a nutshell, man. That explains our current state right now. So the scriptures say there was a blessing and a curse set before us. But we chose to be wicked as a people. We chose to be wicked in general as a people. And guess what? The curse fell upon us instead of the blessing. And I'm going to go to the blessing of Jacob and Esau. It says that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and I will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And this is basically going into the blessings right here. And verse 7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemy. Once again, go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. You can get, because this video will be long as hell if I read the whole chapter, man. You know, but go there, Deuteronomy 28 chapter, and you can read through the curses. Start at verse 15 if you want to read all the curses. Start at verse 1 through 14 if you want to read all the blessings. So it says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Exactly. So these niggas always trying to say that the Bible condones slavery. Yeah, the Bible. Oh, yeah, they put us in slavery with the Bible. Blah, 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 blah. But this Bible speaks of quote unquote karma. Quote unquote, I say revenge, man. This Bible speaks of the Lord avenging his people and putting those people who put his people in slavery. Slacking, and putting those people who put his people in slavery and putting them in slavery. Bringing that back up on them, man. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick. Then I'm going to go to this story of Jacob and Esau right after I play some more of this footage, man. You know, because this is very basic, but it's very needed. Because Jake still don't get it, but we almost up out of here. I don't give a fuck if a nigga can't get it. I hate to speak that way, but I don't give a fuck, you know? Shit, we at the end of this thing. Let's see, Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, that spiritual ear, that ear of discernment, man, the ear of understanding. It says, any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go in captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What's captivity? Slavery. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Niggas don't read that, though. Niggas don't read that, though.
Evil ass white supremacists. Okay? When you start
self and to live for him, whatever context that's going to look like for me. But I want to flip that upside down, because I think the other side of it is true with our nation's history. We understand the curse that was slavery. White people.
Okay. Now watch the words. Now this is Pastor Louie Giglio. The curse that is slavery. Watch the word. Now slavery wasn't a curse. It was just white supremacy dominating and mistreating black people. That wasn't really a curse. That was just evil ass white supremacists. Okay? When you start using words like, well, a curse, that makes it seem like it was divine by God. You understand? That makes it seem like, well, this is something that God.
Well, it is divine by God. We went into slavery for our own transgressions. The Lord came to us, the Negro, Latin, Native American, what we're called today. We were called the Israelites in the ancient world, and we're going back to being called the Israelites. Yashar Allah. He is a prince of God. We're coming back to that slowly but surely, but now it's rapidly. You know? And niggas like this is going to hurt your pocket, Tariq, man. This truth is going to hurt your pocket, man. Because without this truth, I think you can be a whole lot more richer, bro. If this truth wasn't around, if this truth wasn't lingering around, man, Tariq, you could be a whole lot more richer, buddy. You know. So it was divine intervention. It was manifest destiny, man. The Lord gave us a law and a commandment and a statute to follow. Us in particular, we're a special people. We're a separate people, man. We're a holy people. We're not held to the same standard as the rest of the world. So he kicked us in our ass for going against those commandments, man. He blessed us so greatly, but we spit in his face by coming against him. Just like Tariq, just like Willie D, just like Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, Jason Black. What's this nigga name? Judge Joe Brown. And the rest of you black unconscious niggas, man. Man, I'm finna get into some of this Genesis 27. Long chapter, man, but hey, bear with me, man. I'm gonna just try to read through most of it real quick, but hold on.
Yeah? Like God did it, and it's just something that kind of happened. It was just some kind of unforeseen thing that just happened in the universe. No, it was you doing something that was negative to other people. See, watch.
You hear him, but Tariq don't really believe in the Most High, though. He believe in that voodoo shit. That voodoo shit, that's what he believe in. But a lot of our people following this nigga now. I watch him for entertainment, you know. I watch Tariq for entertainment value, man. That's it. That's it, man. I get my truth straight from the Holy Bible, man. And to get that truth, the Spirit of the Lord got to rest upon you, you know. And guess who pushing that truth mainly, man? Great Millstone. I ain't saying I'm the only men of the Lord out there, but for the most part, they the main ones preaching the truth, man. You know? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. You know? There's other men out there who are also, you know? I ain't saying everybody in Great Millstone is righteous. Hey, even the apostle himself said half of Great Millstone is niggas. I believe that also. You know? But for the most part, they got the truth, man. This is Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Now, he trying to say it was just men doing this. Supreme white people doing it. Mistreating black people. Nah, they were coming in the energy and in the spirit of the left hand of the Most High, man. To put judgment upon our people because our people turned their back on the Most High. So the Most High sent that ass kicking down by way of the so-called white man, who when you read in the Bible, he's Esau, Edom, a.k.a. Lucifer, a.k.a. the devil, a.k.a. Satan, a.k.a. the wicked. You know, it's all a reason behind everything, man. We're acting like this shit just happened by chance, man. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And who is the wicked? I tell you in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who rules the earth? The so-called white man. Esau, Edom. Verse 14, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou fillest with the hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. It said, from men which are thy hand. So man, Esau is the Lord's left hand, Israel is the Lord's right hand. Well, Yahweh Shai at the head of that right hand. So we supposed to be the righteous. Esau is supposed to be the left, which left means sinister when you look it up. So let's go, man. He try to act like everything. But I'm finna get the story of Jacob and Esau real quick. Hold on.
The little words they try to use to try to get themselves out of it. No, it was your group of people who were racially insecure, who created a system where they decided and chose to mistreat, torture, and produce non-justice for a group of people based on race. So damn all that curse talk. See, when they start talking that, here's the trick bag. Now listen.
People do. And we say that was bad, but we miss the blessing of slavery, that it actually built up the framework for the world, that white people live in and lived in. And so a lot of people call this white privilege, and when you say those two words, it just is like a fuse goes off for a lot of white people because they don't want somebody telling them to check their privilege. And so I know that you and I both have struggled in these days with, hey, if the phrase is the trip up, let's get over the phrase and let's get down to the heart.
Sure.
Let's get down to what then do you want to call it. And I think maybe a great thing for me is to call it white blessing. That I'm living in the blessing of the curse that happened generationally that allowed me to grow up in Atlanta. And, you know, you're talking about being 57.
Okay, see, now they're playing little word games. So this is a blessing, which they believe that white supremacy is a blessing for them, but it's a demonic blessing if you're going to look at it as a blessing. The blessing wasn't your whiteness, but if it's a blessing, the black people produce the blessing because black people produce the wealth. So they use.
Well, black people did, by way of the Most High, so-called black people did produce the blessing and the wealth by way of the Most High. But ultimately, it was the Most High. And, yes. No, I'm going to say, no, it shouldn't be called white blessing. It should be called Esau's blessing. We're living in Esau's world, Esau's kingdom, but we're at the end of it. We're at the tail of that kingdom right now. We're at the end. And I will tell you in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So our world is about to come, man. And it ain't going to be here in America. This place is going to be burnt to nothing. To dust. To dust. So what we should really call it, what's the truth, is we're living in Esau's blessing right now. Esau's kingdom. And I'm finna get that real quick. This is Genesis 27. And I hope nobody don't call my phone, man, interrupt this video, please. But I'm going to get Genesis 27. I'm going to read through. And Lord willing, you be edified. This is Genesis 27. Start at 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I hear thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord, before my death. Okay, so this was at the time where Isaac was ready to bless Esau and get Esau the blessing, you know? But he didn't get the blessing that he was supposed to get. Well, really, he did get the blessing he was supposed to get. It was all set up in the spirit, you know? So this is really the origins of what people are so confused about today. Oh, white supremacy, white supremacy. No, we're living in Esau's blessing right now. Edomite's privilege. Edomite blessings, man. But we're at the end now. You know? So it's withering away. It's withering away, man. So let's go. It says, Bring me venison and make me savory meat. Hold on. Go to 6. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Esau, the so-called white man, they're hairy people. And we're more smooth, man. You don't see too many hairy Negroes, but some of us are hairy chests, hairy backs. Some of us got a little hair on us. But for the most part, we're smooth people. That don't mean have a smooth face, man. You got to have a beard, too, if you a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, because that's an Israelite custom, man. That's an Israelite law, straight from the Most High. Whether you believe it or not, I really don't give a shit, but I'm edifying right now. Let's see. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father, peradventure, will fill me and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his necks. By the way, goats. Slocking. A kid is a baby goat, by the way, if you ain't know. And it says, verse 17, and she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according to as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And like niggas like to say finesse, this finessing right here. But he was finessing in righteousness, man. And his mama was being righteous too. And it says, and Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy power brought it to me. There it go. Yahweh, thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven. There goes some of them blessings, man. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So that's a blessing upon Israel, man. That Isaac thought he was given to Esau, but it was given to Jacob, a.k.a. Israel. Passed down to the Israelites. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Esau. Salakia. Read it again. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made a savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. Esau, you too late, man. But this was all set up in the spirit, man. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that had taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten up of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and had taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? Jacob means supplanter. For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained thee. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Oh, there you go, crying like a bitch. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of the heaven from above. So we going into Esau's, the so-called white man's blessing now. Not no goddamn white people being supreme, white supremacy. Come on, man. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, living fat, living good, fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass. It said, By thy sword shall thou live. By thy sword shall thou live. And we know who conquered this world with the sword, man. The modern day sword, what are those? Guns, missiles, nuclear missiles, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, bombs, all these different type of super weapons that this devil got that you never even heard of, tanks, MRAPs, you know, antimatter missiles and shit, jets moving at supersonic speed, all these crazy speeds. And Esau, his blessing is the sword, man. That's the so-called white man. And it said, By thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. Woo, that was a mouthful, man. But hold on.
Words like blessing, it's a white blessing. It wasn't your whiteness, but if it's a blessing, the black people produce the blessing because black people produce the wealth. So when they use words like blessing, it's a white blessing. It was something given down by God. This is what they're low-key trying to, it's that manifest destiny talk, see? This is kind of that manifest destiny bullshit where it was God bestowed this blessing on us to dominate over the cursed people. See why? And then he tried to backtrack a little bit later. But you watch that language that they try to use. Well, we shouldn't call it white privilege. Let's just use, because see, when you say white privilege, that shows that somebody else is going to have to be underprivileged. And how are they underprivileged? Because of your actions. So let's just say, because see, that puts too much responsibility on us if we say white privilege. But let's change the language. Let's say white blessing. So then it's God. It's not our fault. It's God. So we didn't put y'all in a situation. It's a white blessing.
Ultimately, it is God, the Most High, Yahweh. But Esau, you're going to be held at fault. Why? Because that's how the Most High rolled.
So God made this choice, not us. We're just innocent bystanders of the blessing. This is a con game. They think they're slick trying to use these little word games. It ain't about what you call it, because see, they made a point to call it white supremacy. I don't even like to use the term white privilege. Notice I rarely use the term white privilege. I go to the meat of it. It's white supremacy. That was the term they used when they were establishing white supremacy.
You notice when white people, them devils don't have no problem with niggas saying white supremacy, because that's basically niggas saying that they are supreme, which they're not. They're lower than nothing. You know? The only reason they're in the situation that they're in, the only reason they're in that position of power right now, because the Most High gave them that power through prophecy, man. You know?
Because they were saying they were supreme and black people were inferior.
And the Most High put them in power to make an example out of their ass. Watch this.
They were saying that, and they built an entire system on that. They have a Supreme Court ruling that black people were inferior in a system of white supremacists. The Dred Scott decision by Justice Taney. And they just took down some of Taney's statues. I know there was one out there in Maryland. They took his statue down. They had a statue of Justice Taney, the man who ruled on the Supreme Court Dred Scott decision, which was basically it's still the common law of the land, where a black man has no rights that a white person was bound to respect. That's still...
I'm going to pause that right there. Yes, there are Edomite supremacist statues all over the country and over the world being taken down, being beheaded, being knocked over, man. That's more of the signs of the times, more of the signs that this devil, the so-called white man, is going down, man. That we're at the end of his dominion. We're at the end of his rulership, man. And I'm going to get this real quick, because this nigga here, boy, hey, the shit you saying, bro, that's confusion, man. This is Psalm 73. Truly, Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. And we, Israel, which I already explained who Israel are, we are wicked ass people right now, man. But the Lord said he's good. The Lord is good to us. He's extremely good and gracious to us, man. He gonna bring us up out of this shit. Even though we've been wicked for goddamn centuries, man. Because why? We're his chosen. We're like his wife, according to the scriptures. We're like his children, man. He has a unfathomable. You can't fathom. So I said unfathomable. Something you can't fathom. You can't even fathom how much the Lord loves his people, the Israelites, man. Even though he's punishing us right now. He's punishing us through the hands of these damn crackers and throughout the hands of our own people in these other nations, man. But he gonna bring us back, man, into great glory, man. Into power. You know? And it says, truly Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such as of a clean heart. So though he's really good to the ones of us who are of a clean heart, man. Not like these niggas who get their head blew off every day in the ghetto, man. Selling crack, committing adultery every day, bragging about it, and smoking the op and all this other shit, man. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Who was the wicked? Esau, Edom. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who's the earth? And it says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. This is talking about the so-called white man. Their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued by other men. Why? Because they're living the blessing. When you go back to Genesis 27, like I already read, man. But we come to the end of that. Let's see. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes standing out with fatness. It said pride compasseth them about as a chain. They so fucking proud. And it says violence covered them as a garment. See, you niggas running around thinking these devils, these lily white Edomites, are just innocent people. No, violence covered them as a garment, man. They running around the world killing millions, man. They say under the Trump administration alone, a bomb get dropped under the name of this devil every 12 minutes, I think they said. They've been killing since forever, man. They waged all the greatest wars on this planet, World War I, World War II, and they about to wage World War III, which they're going to get smashed, by the way. You know how many dead bodies that is, man? They've been murdering way before that, man. Violence covered them as a chain. That's why they being called out, man. And shameful spewing is being brought on their glory in these last days, man. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. Yeah, we know. Instead of black lives, all lives matter. No, black lives, all lives matter. Even though black lives, we know what black lives matter is really about, man. But they speak wickedly. You see them on the comment boards when Jake gets smoked by the police unarmed. We see what they say, man. We see all the shit they say concerning our oppression. They speak proudly and loftily. It says, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. How do they set their heart against? Let me read it again. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. They set their mouth against the heavens. Look at all their policies. Look at their constitution. Look at the Supreme Court. Look at all these wicked ass laws. That's setting their mouth against the heavens. They supposed to have the Bible as their law. They wanted the blessing and the inheritance. They wanted the birthright, right? Well, they're supposed to have that Bible as the law of the land. Ronald Reagan said the Bible was the law of the land. Trump holding up the Bible in photo ops like they follow the Bible. But if you look at all their policies, you look at everything about them, man, their laws, their ways, their statutes, their commandments, it's all against the Bible. So they set their mouth against the heavens. Because this Bible is straight from the heavens, man. And they walk through the earth, like Scripture saying, their tongue walking through the earth, enforcing their wicked ways upon these other nations, man, bombing these other nations, killing these other nations, and bringing filth into these other nations, and programming these people and stealing from them, man. You know, I'm gonna continue on. Therefore, as people return hither, and the waters of a full cup are wrung out to them, and they say, how doeth Yahweh know? And is their knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. See? The Lord willing, you will edify. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Shah, B'Shem Rakakodash. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasha Allah. Abide the ball.